Good morning. Thank you for joining me for morning manna on this beautiful June day. Summer has begun. We're 2 days into it and it's been delightful, hasn't it? I'd like to turn in our time here this morning to Gospel of Matthew. And the chapter is 11, Matthew 11, towards the very end, and the words of Jesus in verse 28. So Matthew 11:28. Jesus makes this wonderful statement, invitation. He says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, learn from me, for I am gentle, lowly in heart. You will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy, my burden is light." I delightfully discovered the other day that at the end of our street in Newburgh, our home street, Julie and I's home street on Oxford, it kind of dead ends, bumps into the county when it's a few blocks away into the county lines. And there's a few small farms at the end of the very end of the road, a few blocks away. And I normally just drive by there and not pay a whole lot of attention, but much to my delight, a favorite animal of mine, or two of them, were at the barbed wire fence. I didn't know they were out there. I don't know if they're new there, but I'd never seen them there. Two of the best looking mules I'd ever seen. I just really, I never had a mule. I think I'd like to have a mule, but I hear that you really got to be quite a horseman or or a mule skinner to really know your way around a mule. A mule is a beast of burden. It's a working animal. And I don't know if Jesus had the mule in mind here, but he had a working animal in mind when he said this, the metaphor to the listener, to Matthew himself when he thought about this. Why? Because the mule is loaded up with burdens, but the mule doesn't sign up for that. No, the rancher, the ranch hand, the mule skinner, he or she will load up the mule with a heavy load or a light load, but it's a heavy load. That all of a sudden the mule's out there, like I saw, just grazing in the delightful long grass, and he's brought into the handling area, and they're loaded up. All of a sudden, from the lovely green grass to being loaded up. Maybe you feel like that sometimes. Perhaps that even is going on in your life right now. You're being loaded up with something you didn't sign up for. You didn't see this coming. The grass was long and lovely, and now the ground is hard and loads are being dropped upon you. It's easy to recoil against that, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are labor and are heavy laden." I'm thinking of the heavy laden part here. "And I will give you rest. I'm gentle, lowly in heart." Perhaps the one who loaded you up was less than gentle. Perhaps not lowly in heart, but was self-seeking, disappointing perhaps. But you come to him. "I'm gentle," Jesus says, "and you will find rest for your souls." How do you find rest for your souls? Physically, we can tuck into bed, or we can sit in our lazy boy or a hammock on a day like today. But how about for the soul? You come to Jesus. You come to Jesus. "My yoke is easy, my burden is light." Love that picture. Julie and I, in our home here in Newburgh, we have a replica yoke we picked up in Mexico. Not a working yoke, but it looks close enough. It's a replica yoke. And yoked to the Lord. A yoke was custom crafted. A good yokesman, a yoke maker, carpenter. Perhaps Jesus made a yoke or two in his life. Don't know. But he would tailor that. That yoke was fitted specifically. It wasn't one yoke size fits all or small, medium, large, but it was custom crafted with thoughtfulness, consideration for each animal and the nuances of that particular animal. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. The burden that man can load on is heavy, overwhelming, but the burden of the Lord, it's light. It's easy. The yoke is. There's rest for the soul. So ponder that. If you come down to Oxford Street, if you go to the end, if you go to the very end of it, you'll see a couple of mules perhaps, and consider this verse. God bless you. Lord be magnified. Maranatha.